Welcome to the Day After Podcast, where we watch things and then talk about them. I'm John, I'm here with Mike and Haley, and in 2016, Daniel Radcliffe said, what do I want to do now that the Harry Potter films are done? And Daniel Radcliffe responded, whatever I want. Welcome to a review of 2016's Swiss Army Man, starring Paul Dano, Daniel Radcliffe, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
So among us three group of friends here, we have these things called Trust Me movies. These are movies like Jonathan Rhys-Meyers' Velvet Goldmine.
I think I had guys, I have this thing called Angels in America I want to show you. It's 5 hours long and there's weird ceiling tits.
Guys, I have this really cool movie. It's like Castaway with not a ton many more.
No.
Because.
Okay, so yes, you be quiet for a little while here. So, Milo and I were discussing different Trust Me movies we want to show each other among the two we just mentioned. John piped up that he doesn't really think he has any Trust Me movies. That the movies that he likes are all pretty straightforward. And then this motherfucker pulls this out of his DVD box.
I own this movie on home media.
And I'm like, you bastard.
So, okay, with that said, audience, trust us.
Trust us.
This is fucking weird. But
and
it's
glorious.
Good. This is really good.
Oh, I got a good out of you? Oh, that's all I wanted.
I already said that.
I already said it was good.
I was like holding on to this like my farts.
I do want to encourage you more than with any other Day After podcast we've done. If you haven't seen this movie, you should go see it.
Yeah.
Like it's still in theaters. It didn't leave
Not
after
like
a week and a
you have
half.
to turn off the podcast or whatever, because I don't think we're gonna get into major spoiler territory. But go watch it, because it's gonna make you feel things. John had a great quote earlier when John Dano was
Paul Dano, when they were pitching this movie to him by the Daniels brothers, which are a Swedish duo, credited among other things with
would be made in Sweden.
With the not in Sweden.
No, but by Swedish brothers.
It's by two Swedish brothers, both with the surname Daniels, who are responsible for directing the music video for "Turn Down for What." They asked Paul Dano. Paul Dano asked them, "Can you describe this movie in a sentence to me?" And they said, "The first fart makes you laugh. The last fart makes you cry." And I feel like if you're open to experiences and you can put up with some really surrealist black humor, it's not even black humor.
I think just surrealist humor is the best way to describe it.
Surreal is like the seventh word in the Wikipedia article.
Well, okay. I like how if you wanted to describe this movie to someone who did like it, I think you said it's okay. Take Castaway, then make Wilson a character.
That would have been way too straightforward of me to say instead of bumbling around my words for 8 days.
So, okay, that's what the first 10 minutes or so, that's what you think you're getting. It's basically Castaway, but Wilson is a character.
Yes.
And he has powers.
Yes.
What, like psychic power? No, just wait.
Well, and I can
he's a human Pez dispenser.
I can imagine the director sitting down and being like, "Oh, let's give him like a mannequin or something. Wouldn't that be funny if this guy is stranded alone on an island with a mannequin?" And we're like, "No, that's not enough."
if you're 4 minutes in, let me just be frank with you if you've never heard about this movie. This is a movie about a man named Hank who is before the movie starts been stranded on an island off the coast of Oregon for many days, and he is on the brink of committing suicide when he sees a corpse played by Daniel Radcliffe wash up on the shore, and it turns out it's not an ordinary corpse. There you go.
That's the opening of the movie.
And then he uses the corpse to jet ski via farts off this island
into Oregon, but now has to travel through like miles and miles of wilderness. And he brings this corpse along, normally just for somebody to talk to. Like, he just can't, like, he's trying to commit suicide, and he keeps seeing this corpse there. And he's like, well, fuck it. So and they wander into the woods. He's carrying this corpse on its back. And then things start happening.
The corpse starts to talk.
Yes.
Amongst other things. And
making noise and dispensing water out of its mouth.
But, and like, okay, so the conflict of the majority of the movie is that, okay, Hank needs to get out of here. He needs Manny's mannequins special skills, but the special powers and skills only really erupt out of this thing when he's very emotional and particularly when he thinks he's falling in love. What happens is
I'll scoot this way.
that Hank starts to recreate scenes of his past life where he was falling in love with a complete stranger for Manny.
Yeah, and it's more Hank is idealizing, this is what I would have done had I been a perfect human being and not a raging piece of shit.
And he's teaching Manny what life is, what humanity is, what all these kinds of things is. And Manny's just like, he's this innocent little baby with superpowers.
But he's also a corpse.
He's also a corpse.
And that's never, none of those, like, all these things in your mind. He needs to learn what life is, how it's funny he doesn't understand social cues. He's a corpse, and he has superpowers. All of these are never far from your brain, no matter which one we're focusing on.
We're on a wheel. If I could just stop being absurdist for a minute, I really appreciate I'm going to say this, the Quentin Tarantinian nature of the subject matter, that they are constantly name-dropping Jurassic Park, Cotton Eye Joe, and Laura Dern.
Yeah.
It's something that they're afraid, like, this actually happened. No, like, some semblance of this could take place in a universe similar to our own.
The dialogue is very filled with millennial references.
Gotta get them cheese puffs.
And I want to, like, obviously you focus on Manny and all the crazy shit that goes on. Can we talk about what a fucking brilliant engineer Hank is? He built a bus. He built a house.
He fucking Weekend at Bernie's him for like 10% of the movie.
He built a movie theater and he used like shadow puppetry to create film. He made one of those like landscape sidewinder things. With old postcards. There's a lot of plastic in this movie, by the way. It really makes you sad when you think about it.
Yeah, the forest is just filled with trash. He keeps collecting and
turning into things.
Panoramas for Manny.
And he dresses up like a girl so Manny can discover what love is.
And then there's this sort of bromance isn't even the right thing. That's not the right word.
Yeah.
It's not even a bro. It's beyond bromance.
It's beyond bromance. Yes, it's transcendent. What it is, I don't want to put a label on because this movie doesn't want me to. I don't think.
It's almost, and maybe I'm talking on my ass. It's too absurdist to be Dada.
No, it's not Dada. It's not Dada.
It's flirting with that idea, but I found out this is the kind of movie I like. I like absurd premises that are like, come for the bleh, stay for the heart.
But then you get this moral lesson about how to treat other people and how to treat yourself. Don't objectify your friends and turn them into tools. You got to make sure to treat them out of love, and also you have to open up yourself to your friends and don't treat them like ladders.
I'm gonna think about your mom when I'm asking.
And it really, like, I love movies like this, that the things that humans do as a society and the things we talk about and the way we treat things is fucking stupid. It really fucking is. Why don't we fart in front of people?
The corpses, Manny. His purpose is to and the other movies have done this without a corpse.
Right.
See Children. They've attempted to have an innocent character used as a wall off of which to bounce and recontextualize societal norms.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell people what you think? That's retarded.
Don't say that word.
Don't say that word.
When I get home, I'm going to tell everyone what I think, and I'm going to let Sarah ride me like a jet ski.
Wherever she wants to go.
And honestly, you get to the point where by the ending, I don't want them to leave the forest, especially now when I know what happens when they get out of the forest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That whole part in the house is just really weird.
There is, I found it once. I think it's called, in Eastern Promises, there is a really, I promise I'm going somewhere, there's a really clumsy fist fight in a bathhouse. And it constantly shows up on lists of the most realistically clumsy fights. And the fight they have in the backyard of Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, it's almost more surreal than surreal because he's shoving his fist into his mouth.
Shut up.
And all the while that's happening, it's still a really clumsy, almost magical fight as he tries to grip this corpse with why you can't do these society things.
Well, yeah, and Manny can move at this point, and he's trying to literally drag Hank into this ideal life that he was picturing.
But I guess what Hank has not explicitly explained to Manny at this time is that really he had just been Facebook stalking Sarah.
Well, he didn't even know her name.
Yeah.
He didn't even know her name.
No, he didn't even know
What
her.
was her actual name?
Her name is
Sarah Johnson.
Yeah.
And Manny is the one who delivered that.
Oh,
so that comes out of fucking movie nowhere.
How's he Facebook stalk someone and not know their name?
He hasn't been Facebook stalking her. He was just had her on his phone images.
And after he
He's
found
been
out what the
taking
name
pictures of
was,
her.
he's like, oh, that's why he didn't know that they were single.
Oh, okay.
That he wished she wasn't single.
And then he realized she has a husband, she has a daughter, she has this whole life.
Yeah, and so he's essentially been creating this.
He's just regular stalking. It's not Facebook stalking.
Yeah, which is just as
better.
I don't know.
If there's one thing this movie is very good at, it's farting in front of other people, or not farting in front of other people. Let me explain. It's a beautiful movie about what gets left unsaid. There is maybe not the crux of the movie, depending on what you went into the movie looking for, but there is a 3-ish minute long take when they're setting up to get ready for his big interview at the end of the movie, and it follows him away from the corpse into the emergency ambulance, and as he walks around, they hear his dad pull up, but you don't know his dad. He's like, we think this may be your son.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hiding behind the truck as he goes, no, I don't want to see the body. It's like, oh, he just thinks that his kid's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's typical dad. We haven't talked in years. And he pulls around, and the dad is sobbing in his truck. They really found a great central casting man to be the token guy who would say retarded and have his kid go, no, you don't say that word. And have it reinforce what we saw earlier with the farting dead person. I'm so happy.
Crying dad equals farting dead person. That's what I got out of that.
Hey, the first fart makes you laugh.
The last fart makes you think about life.
Why didn't he get on the Daniel jet ski at the end?
He was going to, but then he got arrested.
Because Daniel Radcliffe Manny is like Mary Poppins. He comes and he teaches you a lesson, and then he has to go because he's got other people to teach lessons to.
Spoonful of raccoon.
No, that's.
How do you guys want to feel? I'm out of stuff to say. Do you regret what I've showed you?
No, not at all.
Wonderful.
Do you feel successfully tricked?
This movie is funny. This movie.
I was shocked how much you guys laughed.
This movie has a lot of heart. This movie
Really?
is gonna fucking take you on an acid trip, and it's kind of worth it. It's really cool, and I'm glad that Daniel is doing stuff he likes now. Anybody else have final thoughts?
Everybody, be honest with your friends and don't use people.
Don't use people as squirt guns or as regular guns.
But also help other people out. But also don't be used as a tool.
If you have an emotional, surrealist movie you would like to recommend us to watch in the comments, please do. I found out this is my favorite kind of movie. I don't know why I forgot for 4 years.
Yeah, you talked to me about this movie once when it came out, and then never again.
I was sure I talked to him once just casually because I hadn't seen it in a while, but I've owned this movie for 3 years. What the? Anyway, that's been the Day After podcast review of 2016's Swiss Army Man. Join us next time for something where farts don't come out of butts, unless we do Over the Hedge.